La Défense Arena accueille le dernier match de la 8e journée du top 14. Le Racing 92 reçoit La Rochelle avec les grands débuts en top 14 et sous le maillot du Racing, du capitaine des doubles champions du monde sud-africain, Siya Kolisi. Bonsoir à tous, bonsoir Marc. Bon alors déjà sur le papier, l'affiche Racing La Rochelle est particulièrement aguichante pour l'amateur de rugby. Mais en plus, lorsque ce match marque les grands débuts en top 14 d'une des figures majeures de notre sport, ça devient carrément un événement. Marc, Siya Kolisi est titulaire ce soir avec le Racing et le Racing espère qu'il va, comme Dan Carter il y a 7 ans, les guider vers un nouveau titre.
Oui, bonsoir Eric, bonsoir à tous. Oui, Siya Kolisi est un leader qui rayonne par son sens de l'engagement, par sa générosité, par son exemplarité, par son bonheur de vivre tout simplement. C'est un leader qui donne confiance aux autres et effectivement, vous l'avez dit, le Racing peut légitimement rêver à un nouveau titre de champion de France 7 ans après celui amené grâce en partie au néo-zélandais Dan Carter.
Regardez dans le vestiaire avant le match, Siya Kolisi est allé étreindre tous ses partenaires sans en oublier quasiment déjà un petit peu le signe du leader qu'il va être ces prochaines semaines sous les couleurs ciel et blanche du Racing. La composition, pour noter que Cameron Woki est titulaire en deuxième ligne, que Gaël Ficot est évidemment le capitaine du Racing au centre et on suivra aussi avec le numéro 15, l'arrière anglais Arundel qui avait marqué un triplé il y a 15 jours à Toulon. Voilà un double champion du monde face au double champion d'Europe. Double raison de ne pas manquer ce match. Côté Rochelais, Marc, il y a une petite surprise dans la composition, c'est le positionnement d'Antoine Astoy à l'arrière. Oui,
Antoine Astoy qui permet à Ronaldo Gara de faire souffler Brice Dulin en absence du Sud-Africain Leeds, de relancer aussi Yaya West à l'ouverture. Et puis on s'en souvient, on l'a évoqué lors du Canal Rugby Club, Antoine Astoy avait réussi une partie magnifique la saison dernière, il y a quelques mois seulement, malgré la défaite de son club, et notamment en marquant 2 essais en position d'arrière.
Le vestiaire Rochelais où parle Pierre Bourgarit et la sortie des joueurs du Racing. Un petit pas pour lui, un bond de géant pour les ambitions du Racing. Siya Kolisi, le capitaine des champions du monde, va poser à son tour son empreinte sur le top 14. On se régalait déjà d'y voir tous les joueurs du 15 de France et ses stars, Dupont, Aldrit, Penaud, Olivon, pour ne citer que. Bientôt va débarquer un autre double champion du monde, le All Black Sam Whitelock à Pau. Oui, c'est une sacrée saison qui s'annonce. Avant le coup d'envoi, la LNR, la FFR ont souhaité que soit respectée une minute d'applaudissement à la mémoire de Thomas, ce jeune rugbyman de 16 ans tué dans la Drôme, agressé lors d'une fête de village, une disparition qui a suscité énormément d'émotions en France. Alors ce soir pour lui, avec une très forte pensée pour sa famille, pour ses dirigeants, les éducateurs, les copains du rugby club romanais péageois, vous allez écouter cet hommage du public de l'Arena avec une minute d'applaudissement.
Le rugby et la Fédération française de rugby adressent leurs plus sincères condoléances à sa famille et à ses proches et vous demandent de respecter une minute d'applaudissement en son hommage. Merci.
Très longue,
Merci.
très belle minute d'applaudissement. Un hommage à Thomas, monsieur Descotes, ici au sifflet ce soir. Très touché, il est lui-même originaire de cette ville de Romans. Vous avez aussi dans la semaine entendu le témoignage poignant de Philippe Saint-André qui avait porté les couleurs de ce club. Ce soir, ici,
Quel côté, s'il vous plaît?
à l'Arena,
Bébé, c'est pour toi.
Sia Colissi et le Racing vont essayer de rejoindre la section paloise en tête du top 14. Pour cela, il leur faut battre une équipe de La Rochelle
Là, c'est bon.
qui leur avait donné beaucoup de fil à
10,
retordre.
c'est bon, on y va.
Ici même, il y a 6 mois. Le coup d'envoi de ce match, frappé par les Racingmen, un ciel blanc évidemment par Antoine Gibert. Bien tapé, bien haut, atterri dans les bras de Ouest, tout de suite sous la pression du numéro 9 du Racing, le Garec.
Jouez là.
Ballon pour Teddy Iribaren. Avec cette percussion du pied droit, Colombe, il y a beaucoup d'anciens joueurs du Racing. On vous les a cités dans le Canal Rugby Club. Colombe, Iribaren en font partie. Tanga aussi, le numéro 8. Ou encore évidemment Teddy Thomas qui frétille sur son aile le pied de Teddy Iribaren. Et ce ballon va atterrir dans les bras de l'arrière anglais du Racing, Arundel, qui va être à surveiller ce soir. Le Garec pour prendre la passe de Gomessa. La sautée de Gibert jusqu'à Naitouvi. Attention à Vamé Naitouvi, bien plaqué par Aston. Au son premier plaquage du match. Le Garec l'éjecte avec Gibert et une nouvelle intervention du pilier Sedat Gomessa. Le Garec chassé, réussit à tomber, à donner à Gibert. Imhoff bloqué par Cancor.
Non, plaquage.
Parti sur des bases solides avec Kamornoki, passe au contact, Gibert, nouvelle sautée, Naitouvi, pas de décalage, le retour de Boulanger, l'ailier gauche du Racing pour le mettre au sol. Le Garec lancé, c'est bien fait avec Palu maintenant, Palu qui a pu donner à Loré qui est repris, Palu encore une fois. Voici la première hop, le contre-run qui, attention, il s'est mis à la faute.
Les mains au sol.
Il s'est mis à la faute.
Vous mettez les mains au sol.
Et belle première offensive marque du Racing qui s'achève tout près de la ligne.
Oui, on a le Racing qui a beaucoup produit, qui s'est longtemps heurté à la bonne défense des Rochelais, mais qui a fini par trouver la faille avec une véritable occasion d'essai, avorté avec ce ballon récupéré par Teddy Iribaren.
Ils prennent pas les points. Colissi combine finalement le Garec qui la joue pour Boris Palu en pivot, et puis magnifique interception de Jonathan Danty qui n'en demandait pas tant. Et petite incompréhension dans les rangs du Racing pour cette belle munition. Du coup, chippée par les Rocheux.
Non, ballon couvert. 9, jouez là.
Et le pied de Teddy Iribaren qui va encore maintenir ce ballon dans l'aire de jeu. Naitouvi, le duel avec Boulanger. Il a failli passer, il est repris au short par le jeune ailier Rochelais. Le Garec. Gibert et beaucoup de rythme dans ce début de match avec cette percussion du pilier gauche Gogigashvili. Le Garec, le coup d'œil a tiré vers le côté fermé. Ballon lent. Et il joue sur Gibert. Combine avec Goki finalement. Ficou, comme il y a Saïli, bien fait. Francis Saïli qui peut décaler Juan Imhoff. Le sprint de Juan Imhoff et le premier essai du Racing dès la 3e minute. Signé de son international argentin, Juan Imhoff. Quel départ en fanfare des Racingmen.
Et remarquable, la relance de jeu du Racing, contrer un ballon lent sur lequel ont beaucoup bataillé les Rochelais, et on revoit ce jeu dans le dos dans un premier temps. Et puis le magnifique travail de fixation de Gaël Ficou d'abord, de Francis Saïli ensuite pour décaler la flèche argentine, Juan Imhoff. Voilà, c'est parfaitement exécuté. Et ça permet de déborder à la défense de La Rochelle qui était montée assez haut.
Et qui amène le total astronomique d'essais de Juan Imhoff sous le maillot du Racing à 111 essais pour Imhoff. Le Garec transforme et 7-0 pour les Racingmen. Juan Imhoff, 111 essais, c'est le même nombre que les sélections de Philippe Sella, que l'on salue. Et c'est un de plus que son numéro sur le maillot traditionnel, et on peut se congratuler. C'est très bien joué de la part du Racing pour cette entame de match. Le renvoi long des Rochelais.
Sur le côté, pareil, le 1.
Allez, grosse charge de
Putain,
Jordan
c'est pas
Joseph.
possible.
Woki dans l'intervalle.
C'est vous qui partez. La ligne, la ligne. On est dans le 22.
Garec, le pied atterrit dans les bras de Johan Tanga. Astoy, premier ballon à remonter pour l'arrière Rochelais, pris par la défense du Racing.
Non, blanc, non.
Première bataille féroce dans un ruck contre ruck, mais ils sont sanctionnés.
C'est vite joué par Teddy Ribaren.
Ribaren rapidement, la passe mal assurée que Teddy Thomas ne peut pas contrôler.
Le Stade Rochelais est cueilli à froid par cette entame tonitruante du Racing qui a pris confiance. Excellent début de saison des hommes de Stuart Lancaster. La seule équipe
non.
du top 14 à avoir
On peut
pris
pas
des
la jouer
points
Couloir,
partout.
couloir.
Pardon, Mac, sur le visage de Thomas Laclaya, le banc du Racing qui a
plus
choisi
vite,
en
reculez.
6-2, 6
Noir,
avant,
noir,
2
descendez.
3 quarts, TDR et Spring et Laclaya, l'un des meilleurs marqueurs d'essai du championnat, que l'on verra en deuxième mi-temps.
Couloir. Merci.
Thomas Laclaya élu meilleur joueur de Pro D2 de la saison dernière.
Vous avez regardé la nuit du rugby, vous.
Ouais, exactement. Bonsoir au passage.
Bonsoir Guillaume, Gibert, Fécou. Attention,
Jeu, c'est derrière. Hein.
Arondel pas d'en avant et Roalimov maintenant.
Non. Plaqueur qui gêne.
Profondeur pour le pied de
Blanc,
de
jouez pas.
Gibert.
Il y a
Dans
le
les bras
plaqueur au
d'Astoy.
départ qui
Il
sort
va
pas.
servir
Je préfère vous
Teddy
prévenir.
Thomas. Face à la défense du Racing, il va essayer de prendre le périphérique. Teddy Thomas, il est venu s'empaler sur Cameron Woki qui l'a déséquilibré. Ribaren, D-Lane pour Astoy, le renversement des Rochelais. Seteni, Danti maintenant. Jonathan Danti qui va essayer de prendre un petit peu de vitesse, servir dans le couloir. Botia, percussion de Botia sur Naitouri. Les ballons conservés par les Rochelais. Bourgarit, le capitaine ce soir, Pierre Bourgarit.
Blanc.
Ribaren, Astoy en position de 10, allonge la passe jusqu'à Seteni. West maintenant avec Tanga. Johan Tanga, il échappe au package avant d'être déséquilibré
Restez,
par
restez.
Woki encore une fois. Et ça rebondit avec le jeu typique sur cette surface synthétique de l'Arena. Beaucoup de jeux de la vitesse. Seteni à hauteur, il a Bourgarit qui est pris par Ficou Saili. Avantage en cours pour les Rochelais.
De Saïli.
Oui.
C'est un peu pénalité. Hein.
Renversement, Lavaux avec Colombe un petit peu arrêté. Et Monsieur Descotes par
l'avantage. Du jeu très latéral des Rochelais, mais qui ont su trouver des solutions sans réellement
C'est
franchir.
un peu pénalité.
Avec un positionnement, on l'évoquait d'Antoine Astoy avec le numéro 15 dans le dos, mais là sur cette grande séquence de jeu, très souvent positionné numéro 10.
Photo. Photo les gars.
Et la tentative.
Ça a été demandé par Sébastien Bouboul, qui était content de cette séquence. Il demande à ses joueurs de mettre du rythme. Il voulait qu'ils maximisent au mieux l'avantage.
Entre copains de l'équipe de France, on ne se fait pas de cadeau, mais on a vu Gaël Ficou venir s'excuser auprès de Pierre Bourgarit. C'était la première séquence, en tout cas, des Rochelais. On voit ici en gros plan Winnie Antonio et la composition de l'équipe de La Rochelle. Banc en 5-3 avec l'autre international, Pierre Boudéan. Gros banc, hein. Sclavi, le pilier gauche ou droit international argentin. Kerr Barlow, le demi de mêlée All Black. Le banc qui avait fait basculer la semaine dernière le match entre Rochelais et Bordelais. Astoy, buteur ce soir, réduit le score. 7 pour le Racing, 3 pour La Rochelle. Bon, c'est bien parti.
On l'attendait, on l'espérait, mais c'est bien parti.
C'est bon 10, on y va.
Les Rochelais remontés au classement après 2 victoires consécutives à domicile contre Bayonne puis contre Bordeaux. Sortaient auparavant d'une série de 4 défaites consécutives. Ils ont remis la marche avant. Un renvoi de Gibert, bien tapé, près de la ligne de touche, dans les bras de Botia, mis au sol par Loré. Teddy Thomas au contest aérien, devancé par Henry Arundel, qui aussitôt trouve le soutien de Le Garec. La remise intérieure pour Loré. Et de nouveau, les
Premier au ballon, non, c'est conservé.
Racing mène, dangereux.
cage, non, non, non.
Le Garec. Gibert. Gibert à Rondel qui a sauté Colissi pour servir Ficou, le coup de pied croisé de Ficou qui va sortir en touche dans les 22 Rochelle.
En réalité, de l'alternance avec, on voit le positionnement très large des trois quarts centres du Racing. Ficou, Saïli, qui lui permet de jouer dans le... qui permet aux attaquants du Racing de jouer dans le dos, d'aller chercher les espaces. Ou là, comme l'a fait le capitaine du Racing, de jouer et de gagner du terrain.
Regardez le couloir.
Alignement réduit.
Blanc, blanc, blanc.
2 alignements pénibles pour les talonneurs.
Pareil, plus vite,
Grosse
descendez.
réussite des deux côtés pour le contre en touche. Petit avantage au Rochelais, mais pour le coup, c'est Bourgarit qui lance.
2 mètres, 2 mètres, 2 mètres.
Malgré la tentative de contre, attention, cette passe d'Iribaren pour l'international Reda Wardi.
Regardez la ligne. Non, 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 tirez pas, c'est pas la peine. Ça c'est dispo, jouez la 9.
Et Iribaren qui doit sortir, s'appliquer à sortir ce ballon. Ce qu'il fait.
Regardez le couloir de suite.
Teddy Iribaren qui a lui aussi quitté le Racing la saison dernière. C'est une des recrues rochelaises de l'intersaison.
Restez comme
Ils sont
ça.
nombreux côté Rochelais à avoir évolué dans les rangs du Racing. 4 sur la pelouse et une bonne partie du staff, dont Ronan O'Gara.
Non, c'est Yannick Tarit, le talonneur du Racing, avec la déviation de Woki. Le Garec la passe un petit peu haut pour Gibert, avec Jordan Joseph maintenant, bien stoppé par Botia. Le retour vers le fermé, puis finalement Gibert pour la passe au pied vers Juanimov. Il lui manque quelques centimètres pour récupérer ce ballon. C'était bien tenté.
C'était bien tenté, c'était bien dosé aussi. Il y a eu ce ballon fuyant sur la pelouse synthétique de la défense Arena, et c'était aussi bien travaillé préalablement avec une feinte de retour dans le côté fermé du lieu de mêlée, le Garec, et finalement ce jeu au pied qui était allé chercher les pieds argentins.
Non. Non. Le couloir propre et vous venez pas et ressortez pas. Le couloir.
Vis-à-vis.
C'est bon, jeu. C'est bon.
Bon, Garit, il a trouvé. Michael Corcorier. Et ce premier ballon porté des avants du stade Rochelais.
On est déligné, monsieur, après. 5 avantages. Hein.
Avantage pour les Rochelais.
Ouest vers Astoy. Sur cette situation d'avantage, bon plaquage de Gibert.
Par Antoine Gibert, oui.
Là, il a pu servir Boulanger. On est toujours donc sur une situation d'avantage et monsieur Descotes va
5.
revenir.
Vous perdez la liaison après. 5.
C'est Boris Palu ici à l'écran. C'était infiltré de manière
5.
illicite sur le ballon porté Rochelais.
Allez, West, extérieur du pied. Pour une petite touche, l'angle était relativement fermé. Mais avec un lancer
Noir. La ligne.
pour
Blanc,
les partenaires
descendez.
de Jonathan Danty, toujours
Après.
privé de deux
Descends.
porteurs de ballon que sont Greg Aldrit, qui respecte 2 mois de repos jusqu'à janvier, et Will Skelton, l'Australien, qui est toujours blessé. Iribari. West passe dans le dos pour Teddy Thomas, qui est en canne ce début de saison. Teddy Thomas, le duel avec Saini.
Non, il n'y a personne en face, il n'y a pas de conteste.
Et Iribaren qui renverse. Lavo sur un pas. West de nouveau. Bourgarit, elle a oublié le ballon en routé. L'interception de Sia Colissi pour son premier ballon d'attaque. Avec une libération contestée par West et Le Garec. Il y a un intervalle. Il a vu au ras du roc ce Nolan Le Garec. Le crochet, les bonnes défenses rochelaises. Mais finalement, monsieur Descotes qui revient à l'avantage.
Il avait tenté la passe dans le dos, dans sa chute.
C'est un rock encore pour moi. Non.
C'est Nolan Le Garec.
Pénalité pour le Racing, marque un peu moins de 40 mètres face au poteau.
Capitaine.
Et dans l'axe des poteaux, le choix de prendre les points de la part de Gaël Ficou, de
Oui,
se
en
mettre
avant.
à l'abri. au moins
Un
d'un essai
ballon.
transformé. On revoit l'initiative rochelaise, l'incompréhension très certainement. Et le premier ballon sous les couleurs du Racing de Sia Colissi.
Tu le ballon.
Regarde,
C'est juste,
regarde. Il y a beaucoup de soutiens qui rentrent sur le côté. Ils ont beaucoup de soutien offensif qui arrive sur le côté. Là, le mec, il passe pas dans la porte, il passe sur le côté encore.
Alors là, vous voyez Zarzeski, mais celui qu'on entend, c'est Sébastien Boboul, l'un des coachs rochelais qui est en bord de pelouse
Comme tout le monde, non?
et qui donne lui aussi des consignes à son équipe.
Je suis entraîneur, je fais pareil. Reprise du temps.
Nolan Le Garec, buteur du Racing ce soir, qui tourne à 70% de réussite depuis le début de la saison.
Il est à 100% pour l'instant.
Ça passe, ça fait 10-3.
Et on a entendu aussi le capitaine du Racing, Gaël Ficou, se plaindre un petit peu auprès de monsieur l'arbitre, monsieur Descotes, en réclamant une faute cynique.
Pour moi, non. Il y avait le 9 qui est au-dessus. Il y avait le 9. Quand vous voulez.
Renvoi Yaya West, titularisé donc en 10, où il y a une très forte concurrence à La Rochelle avec Antoine Astoy et le jeune Hugo Russ qui n'est pas blessé, qui est dans le groupe élargi ce soir,
Premier est blanc.
mais qu'il faut ménager, il est encore tout jeune. Hugo Russ dont parlait Fabien Galtier cette semaine en conférence de presse en disant que les portes du vestiaire de l'équipe de France pourraient s'ouvrir pour lui. À lui de confirmer.
On voit Cameron Woki qui n'arrive pas à contrôler ce ballon. Et première mêlée d'ailleurs du match. Après plus d'un quart d'heure. Opportunité pour le Stade Rochelais. Il est là, Hugo Rose aussi. 24e homme ce soir puisqu'il n'est pas sur la feuille de match.
Champion du monde des moins de 20. Enfin, maintenant vous le connaissez, on vous en parle quasiment tous les week-ends. Puisqu'il brille chaque fois qu'il porte le maillot du Stade Rochelais.
Ouvrez l'épaule, monsieur.
Regardez, c'est important parce qu'on en a vu plusieurs depuis le début du match. Les duels aériens, les Racingmen sont depuis le début de la saison beaucoup plus adroits que les Rochelais dans ce secteur. Il va falloir surveiller.
Première mêlée, première pénalité. C'est le droitier
Vous allez au sol de suite.
du Racing, Sédaté Gomez.
Non, c'est vous qui allez au sol de suite. En touche?
Et les Rochelais ne prennent pas les points. Mais West va chercher la pénale touche. Et il la trouve.
Il n'y avait pas de consigne du banc qui a laissé l'initiative aux joueurs.
Alors, à suivre, la semaine dernière contre l'UBB, le talonneur Pierre Bourgarit a inscrit un doublé sur ballon porté. C'est lui qui est au lancer à 5 mètres de l'embut du Racing. Milieu d'alignement, bien capté par Thomas Lavaux. Et en mode dynamique que vient de rejoindre le talonneur international, cornaqué par Ribaren.
Il est dangereux.
Qui se rapproche de la ligne, qui s'écroule sur la ligne, mais le ballon ne l'a pas encore franchi. Botia ramasse, il est stoppé. Les Racingmen mettent les barbelés sur la ligne. Reda Wardy plaqué par Colissi. Johan Tanga qui s'écroule derrière la ligne.
Mais Ficou, me semble-t-il, qui s'est interposé.
L'essai n'est pas accordé.
Le capitaine du Racing. Pourtant, ils étaient dangereux, les Rochelais, malgré l'absence de leur gros porteur de balle. Skelton, Aldrid, bien sûr. Mais c'est le capitaine du Racing, me semble-t-il, qui s'est...
Attention au hors-jeu. Quand je vous le dis, après vous repartez très bien. Allez, on joue.
Oui, c'est bien lui. C'est bien Gaël Ficou qui sauve
Allez-y, 10.
son équipe d'un essai qui paraissait quasiment fait.
Renvoi d'en but effectué par Gibert le plus loin possible dans les bras d'Astoy. Ballon remonté par Johan Tanga, lui aussi l'ancien troisième ligne centre du Racing. Bon premier plaquage signé Tarit. Ribaren, Lavaux, feinte de passe du deuxième ligne plaqué. Astoy, Botia, Saïli, il y a du lourd. Et ce sont une nouvelle fois les Racingmen qui sont pénalisés. Joué rapidement par Teddy Thomas avec l'aide de l'arbitre.
Endroit, jugé monsieur Descotes.
9 et 12.
Elle est très certainement une nouvelle opportunité pour La Rochelle qui va... Ça paraît quand même très probable. Retourner en touche. On voit la faute de Saïli, de Le Garec au sol qui ne sortent pas suffisamment de la zone flatteur plaqué. Et on prend les mêmes et on recommence. C'est Pierre Bourgarit.
Il a plutôt pas mal fonctionné, hein, le premier ballon porté des Rochelais tout près de la ligne.
Il est bien construit. Peut-être regretter hein, que Teddy Ribaren soit parti un peu tôt.
On descend.
Alors, deuxième occasion au lancer. L'un des Bleus, capitaine de La Rochelle, Pierre Bourgagne. Delane, le deuxième ligne irlandais, a contrôlé ce ballon. Le ballon est dans les bras du numéro 3, c'est le pilier Colombe. Il a giclé, pas d'en avant et Ribaren doit écarter. Danti combine avec West sur les ex. C'est bien joué. Astoy, le ballon pour Boulanger. Il n'y a pas de décalage, il est pris par Arunde, il a redonné à Astoy et Teddy Thomas qui est venu se proposer dans la zone. La jolie passe au contact de Teddy Thomas. West pour le renversement. Danti qui prend de la vitesse et qui vient défier Jordan Joseph. Le bon plaquage de Loré et le ballon toujours Rochelais. West se tenit.
Ils sont éliminés avec 3 attaquants Rochelais.
Wardy en pivot. West
conserve le ballon.
Astoy de nouveau.
Picks it up, goes for a run himself. Oh, met by Gail Ficku. Does well to get them back into the Racing half. West, Suteni. Oh, there's a, wouldn't call it a mismatch because you got Infov who's very quick. Look at that from Walkie. Brilliant play, chucks it back. Le Garec, 50-22 potentially. 50-22, no it isn't, he's kept that in. Whoa. West, risky business. Where's he going now, TT? He's isolated.
Cava Budget.
Picks up and Arundel hits a high one over the top. That might be a mark there, just to give the his teammates a little breather.
Not to mention you, Robbie. It's a heck of a passage of play there. It's furious. You can see the players really sucking it in. A lot of movement, a lot of enterprise from both teams. Here's the steal from Cameron Vocki. Took a little bit of time to control it, but in the end it was a good steal, and Mihai West only just getting back to save that 50-22. The crowd got excited when he threw that pass out to Teddy Thomas. Nemov chasing down his opposite.
Back up to the halfway line is Yannick Taric. Made safe at the back. The Garec. It's another South African Rugby World Cup winner. He knows how to dance, doesn't he? Nyakane, old Trevor.
Trevor Nyakane became a real positive image for the South African team. I think he was tasked with looking after the World Cup, was he as well? It's normally a front rower that gets those jobs, but certainly made his presence felt at all the post-match celebrations after that final and after the tournament.
Some of the best moves in the world. Wonderful, wonderful human being. Well, another opportunity for Racing. They get a 10-point lead. Alain Le Garec, made in Britannia, Brittany. He's pulled out, hasn't he? 10-3 it remains.
Pareil, sur le contest avant, lâche. Tu lâches pas, ouais. fais l'effort.
Didn't look quite fluent, did he, with his movement there, or fluid either. A bit jerky. Gave it a big hit. He certainly doesn't hold back and just get the distance needed. He really tries to thump it through the back of the stadium.
Freddie Michalak, part of the staff alongside Stuart Lancaster. Tedira Buran, he's been rumbled down. The counter, rucking, fantastic. Picked up by Gorgishashvili, and there's the chip down into the corner as he picks it up. Teddy Thomas does really well. Little chip over the top, nice and neat, but oh my word, that is going to be nasty.
On va le revoir, mais pour moi, c'est plus rouge qu'autre chose.
That is definitely going to be a red card. That was a hook around the neck, wasn't it?
Moi, j'ai...
And we'll get to see if Garrick's okay. He's gone down. Teddy Thomas in a lot of trouble here. The little chip over the top, and you could see his body. I mean, if you look at, put it in slow motion, it'll look really bad. Look at that.
Well, it was, look, he wasn't aiming for his head. I'm not trying to excuse it. It looks really bad here, obviously.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be red.
Oh, it's definitely going to be red.
It's almost a reflex, like you're sticking out an arm to try and get any part of the body.
J'ai bien l'impression que c'est plus le haut des épaules. Donc mets-le aux images, s'il te plaît, Cédric.
But it is, he goes on the chest, but afterwards I think he gets caught on the jersey. You know, I think he gets caught on the shirt. Just watch this.
I'd like to see this as a yellow, but I can see why it might end up a red, you know.
Let's have a look where the finger gets caught in his shirt. Look at the shirt. He's grabbed the shirt. It looks really bad.
Well, his arm's on an angle because he's reaching out to the side, and so his first contact really with his wrist and hand is on Le Garrec's left shoulder.
Yeah, it's like a wrap, isn't it? It's like a car seat. It's a half wrap, isn't it? Look at that. The trouble is that it's the contact around the chin. I think that's probably gonna make the TMO and Monsieur Descott hand out a red card.
Non, mais là, quand on voit ces images comme ça, pour moi, c'est un haut, il y a de la vitesse, il y a rien de maîtrisé. Ça sera carton rouge pour moi. Appelez le joueur, s'il vous plaît. Pour moi, il y a de la vitesse, il y a rien de maîtrisé, ça sera rouge.
Well, it's a red card.
Sur les images, on voit que ça touche le cou.
Yeah, he said there was a lack of mastery, I guess, a lack of control over what he was doing, and he shouldn't really have done that, should he?
No, definitely not.
When there's a question of an opposition player's safety, you've got to take precautions, and they're saying that he didn't, and you can understand that. It's a shame for Teddy Thomas because I don't think it was a malicious act.
No, definitely not, definitely not. You know, and when you're going at that speed and you're going into a player and you think you can still tackle him, you know, you think you can actually wrap him and bring him down.
C'était spectaculaire déjà au départ. C'était déjà spectaculaire au départ.
And, you know, he doesn't...
I guess sometimes you just got to know when you're beaten and not throw the arm out just for the sake of it, a bit of a speculator.
Easier said than done, Mertz, but I totally agree.
Oh, I knew when I was beaten pretty easily.
I thought it never happened. That's what you told me earlier. Anyway, there's the penalty. And it's George Honoré Colomb who's been penalised.
It's a quick turnaround from La Rochelle. Really in trouble now, down one man and giving away.
Sur les 15.
Second penalty in a row.
Bon, on sur le côté.
Anik Waki off the top. Laurie, it goes forward. This is surely going to go over. Oh, it is a try. I think it's a penalty try. It's definitely a penalty try. He's racing over towards the underneath the sticks, and it's going to be a yellow card. The turret collapsing. The driving maul. No hooker, no winger. Down to 13.
No conversion either, none needed. 7 points for Racing. And they really got some speed up with that driving maul. Clean take from Waki. They got organised very, very quickly, Racing, and they were going at the rate of knots towards that line. And yeah, there you see the infringement. Pretty cynical, diving underneath the ruck to bring it down in the guise of a tackle, but really it's just to be a nuisance around the legs. So
Pierre Bougarit picking up the yellow card, of course. And this is going to make it a very complicated final run into the changing rooms at half-time.
Big part of that victory last week, wasn't he, for La Rochelle? A couple of tries and shows the difference in a week. Teams under pressure at an away venue, and all of a sudden you're the second man off the field and teams down to 13. Tough for La Rochelle to manage this period. They'll be trying to slow the game down as much as they can.
High ball taken very well there by big number 8, Jordan Joseph. Terry getting the ball back to Gibert. Well, it's out of the hands of Saley. Watch out for Gael Fickou. Very wily player, brought down by Georges-Henri Colombe. And Gibert, wonderful kick up towards the halfway line.
It is a good kick, but it's a little bit opportunity lost. Even deep in their own territory, 2-man advantage for Racing at the moment. You'd think they maybe would try again. You know, there's got to be some gaps all over the field, especially when La Rochelle's dropped 3 players back to cover the backfield, to cover the kick. There have got to be opportunities up close, even though you're deep in your own turf. They weren't accurate with the first phase. They threw that pass that went straight through Francis Saley's hands above his head.
Picked up by Georges-Henri Colombe. Good offload. And taken forward by Yohan Tanga.
No.
Charged this time by Deleng. West. Oh, it's a wild pass. Look at this. Gibert kicks the ball forward. And it's the Fijian who's trying to get there first, but that's been met there by Nathan Balangier. Kind of clears the ball in a get rid of it kind of fashion, which obviously means that they're in a bit of a pickle. You thought maybe he would have scooped it up or tried to do something with it, but
or anything else really.
Anything else, yeah.
Easy to say sitting up here, but yeah, Naituvi bearing down. You know, your thought is probably of the danger, but he's just stuck boot to ball, probably not thinking of the consequences of kicking it dead. And in a pretty precarious position now, La Rochelle, 2 men down, Racing with a scrum, what, 15 metres, no, 25 metres out.
Yeah, they need a hooker as well. Pierre Bougarit's off, so Sacha Idumi is the player who will logically come on.
And they've got to put 8 on the scrum, don't they? So they've got to take another back in, which brings them down to 5 back defenders, including the halfback. So halfback plus 4 others. That's a lot of field, and they're taking off Mbotia.
Yeah, they have to sacrifice
for a hooker. Yep. A lot of space to cover here for La Rochelle. Their best chance, really. I mean, they've got to put a big effort into the scrum and try and mess Racing's ball up as much as they can. They've got to put 8 in the scrum. They've only got 5 out the back. It's pretty hopeless if Racing gets a pretty stable platform.
Yeah, especially with the back line that Racing have. Of course, they've got Whiz Kids, they've got Aaron Dell, they've got Naituvi, they've got whoever they want.
La Rochelle's left the forward pack with 7. So French rules, I must be out of date on my French rules. Can survive with just 7 in the pack.
Lié. Non, 9. Non, les deux se relèvent.
Dès qu'il pose la main dessus, la main elle est à
Gone with 2 flankers, La Rochelle, which means they have no 8, who would normally be in a covering position.
S'il la touche avec la main, il a pas
Guidi Antonio watches on.
Lever le ballon, les épaules déliées, certain.
Shouting out the instructions. Itching to get himself in there, isn't he?
Well, I'm sure they'd love to have him there at the moment with a 7-man scrum. Although that was a pretty good scrum from La Rochelle, down a man. They did well there. Perhaps Racing not quite putting their shoulders fully on, particularly in the back row. They're thinking about getting off the scrum quickly, making the most of the lack of number 8 and the 1 back defender down as well. I'm sure they'll knuckle down first.
I think the forwards are going to try and shift this. Comes off the back, it's a reverse. Well, he's been picked up. That is sensational from Gibert. He realised he picked up the scraps and then just motored over the line. I think it could have been anybody really in this Racing back line who could have been in that situation. The reverse pass came over and, well, scooped up. And the French fly half does the rest of the work.
Yeah, a little fortuitous for Racing, but it shows the lack of cover defence, not having a number 8 for La Rochelle. Gibert making the most of it. They did their best, La Rochelle, to ruin Racing's ball at the scrum. They did that both times pretty well. Here's the pass from Le Garec. Doesn't go to hand. However, just short on numbers. Half gaps all over the place as the La Rochelle backs come racing up. Ihio West had to go back inside. As soon as you see a ball hit the ground, it's hard for the defence because you tend to race up a lot quicker. So you can be caught unawares, and on that occasion, it was Gibert the beneficiary.
24 points to 3. Racing, a very comfortable lead.
La Rochelle taking their time, of course, as you would. Down a couple of players, being advised by the ref to speed it up a little, but every second helps when you're down 2 men.
Big hits coming in on Joseph. And a bit of a rumble, a little bit of a reaction. And Courier getting involved. Delane trying to rip the ball out of the hands of Yannick Tarit.
9, jouez là.
Le Garec with the exit kick. Astoy unable to do much with that. That's a good, clean clearance there.
Here's the try again. See the little foot there. A little bit of a battle at the back there as the back rowers and the halfbacks jostle for position. Here's the end result. Really good kickoff from Ihio West from La Rochelle. That gave them the best chance of making that tackle straight over the line. And they'll be in no rush again. So, as you said, Astoy had no chance there to counter-attack. He doesn't want to. The ball goes out, you let it run out in the 30 or 40 seconds.
Racing with 63% territory at the moment. But the possession is in La Rochelle's favour at the moment. Now this is where they could be super dangerous, Racing. They go for the kick, hoping that there's cover. Need someone to put a bit of pressure. That's outside of the 22. That was near on a 50-22, but near on's not good enough. Here we go again. Use up the clock, 2 minutes 15 remaining. Imhoff this time. That's a great kick. That's a very good kick from the Argentine.
Well, again, La Rochelle, no complaints there. Teddy Iribarren controlled that and just kept knocking it back. A couple of probing kicks that went so close to being a 50-22. Then he found grass again, and he just, as you said, Robbie, in the commentary, soaked up the time. That's all they want to do in this 10-minute period. Keep soaking up the time. The ball goes out. They take a while here. Look, communication. We're struggling to hear with this enormous crowd, ref. We've got to send the courier in.
There's the placement hooker there, Sacha Doumi. Good straight laser line. Picked up by the same player at the back. Got to get out of there, Jordan Joseph. Penalised on that occasion. Good work from the big back rowers, of course, you know, just pushing through. Clovis Labai and Donovan Tofa-Fanua. Henri Chavancy. Some familiar faces. Got some wonderful players in this Racing team, of course.
Been a hell of a player for a long time, Henri Chavancy. One of the class of 2009. winners of the Pro D2. Glad to say it's a connection for me still with the modern players. They're petering out slowly but surely. Been a fantastic midfielder for a long time, Henri Chavancy.
President of the LNR, and it was Catel alongside Laurent Travers, the president who replaced Jackie Lorenzetti at the helm of Racing. Jackie Lorenzetti still the owner, of course, but focusing on some of his businesses, including a chateau and some vin rouge down in the southwest. Got about 4 minutes left, but more importantly, Pierre Bougarit should come back on when the ball goes dead the next play. But Racing let loose and going on a bit of a wander. Frez Siley's strong and gets over the gain line. Waki picked up there by Oemi Naituri, and the kick over the top. There's no one there. Bobbles and bounces, Hastoy.
50-22.
And a fantastic 50-22 as well.
I'm surprised as they tried a bit of a speculator take the quick line out Racing, but surprised there was no one back there. And I must say I was surprised when the kick went in. Both wingers had just been used in the previous phase. No real chasers until a couple of the Racing players realised there was huge amounts of space back there with no La Rochelle defender. Of course, they're down 2 men. As you say, Bougarit should be there. He is. He's back on. They haven't done too badly to manage this period, La Rochelle.
Hasn't been too bad. Botia comes back. Idiomi goes back off. Or goes off, simply. Now it's Tarit with the line-outs. Waki does well with those grapple hooks. And it's a penalty just coming across.
Vous amenez les joueurs au sol, vous et vous amenez les joueurs au sol, c'est vous. Vous passez devant, 8, et vous amenez le joueur au sol, il ne peut pas défendre.
The moment that you get in front of the jumper, of course, you don't allow anybody to have access to the ball carrier, and that basically is illegal, especially in the line-outs. Well,
did he say they almost took him out like a clean-out and actually took them to ground, took the players to ground maybe as well? So, yeah, probably a couple of offences there from Racing.
Well, it's also dangerous as well, isn't it? That's out of play, quite a spectacular attempt to try and keep the ball in play. We've got 2 minutes remaining, and La Rochelle, wouldn't it be good for them to try and get some points back up on the, and increase their 3-point tally just before the break?
There's that 50-22 from Le Garec, and he was the man chasing actually. I thought, who's going there? There are no wingers available.
Line out. There he is. Oh, spillage there. Bougarit makes it available. It's there. Very messy, isn't it? We'll just go back for the scrum. Yannick Tarry just spilling the ball at a good moment where he was going on a bit of a wander. He's such a good ball carrier, great, strong, feisty runner, of course, but it's stripped there by Bougarit. Did well there. Kamisha in the stands, not fit for this one. He's had plagued by injuries in the last 12 months. Hasn't been easy for the player who Sia Colisi said is a player with no neck. Made a little bit of a joke by saying, sort of, where's your neck?
Got to say, he may not be the only one in history either.
Yeah, that's true.
Few would have struggled to put on the ties for the after-match function in the past.
Penalty for La Rochelle. Iriburen, West. Where's this going? Picked up. Oh, it's a bit lucky, just as well. He's a tall centre. Suteni chucks the ball back. West. That's a good kick. Oh, it's been picked up. That is absolutely brilliant, but he can't get it to it in time and turn his body. Cancourier in a wonderful position.
What a tackle from Imhoff. I suspect this might have been a play they were planning to use 2 or 3 phases down the track, and Ihai West just decided to go to it quicker because he knew he had a player out there. But Imhoff has pulled out an absolutely brilliant try-saving tackle there on the line.
Such a strong, I mean, he's not a small player either, is he?
On est pareil, on est deux à voir. C'est dans l'embut.
I think the call is that he didn't release the player when he was tackled. Look, he's not releasing the player. He's getting in the way, and it could have been taken over. And the referee didn't react to it. Fred Charrier very annoyed with that. Smashed away, cleared their lines, and Racing in a very comfortable half-time lead. It's 24 points to 3. They lead La Rochelle here at the Paris La Défense Arena.
Ça va vite ici. Nolan Le Garec s'est arrêté à notre micro. Nolan, ça ressemble à une première mi-temps parfaite. Vous confirmez, il y a tous les ingrédients que vous souhaitiez?
Non, parfaite, je sais pas. En tout cas, on a une volonté de mettre beaucoup de rythme, de déplacer cette équipe de La Rochelle. Maintenant, on fait encore quelques fautes qui leur permettent de revenir chez nous, donc il faut corriger un peu ça, mais
keep on coming back into our 22, so we need to rectify a few things to stop that in the second half.
On n'a pas de joueurs de...
Well, you can see the possession, Racing just a little bit down, so La Rochelle still keeping the ball and getting a lot of ball. They've managed to get themselves up into deep pockets of space and up into the Racing 22 on a couple of occasions, just unable to turn that possession into points, which of course is inexcusable. But at the same time, they did play. They had 10 minutes where they were down to 13. So, I mean, you know, it's the complicated scenario in itself. The fact is, they've got a great team. They're two-time European champions. They've got winning DNA. Ronan O'Gara will be strong, speaking in his franglais, just in the changing rooms here to just motivate the troops because, you know, even at 14, we've seen bigger surprises in World Rugby matches, you know, right across the globe, where teams can find something from within and then come out. And this is a perfect venue. The weather can't get in the way. It's up to the players now to sort of come together and play as a big, strong unit and try and rumble Racing and put a little bit of a fight up against them because, you know, 2 tries and they're back in.
I wonder how long it is before we see Astoy maybe move up to 10. That's nothing against Ihia West, but you've still got to have your best goal kicker on, who is Astoy. But I don't think he's offering a heck of a lot at fullback at the moment, particularly when they're down to 6 backs. The coverage, you really need that speed there. So I think they're going to rely on the likes of Favre coming on. They're certainly going to want Seuteni and Dante to stand up, to take more responsibility, to get a bit of go forward. We saw glimpses of it with Dante, but I really think having Astoy back in 10 and a bit more of a threat out wide from their back 3, or their back 2 really, as the case may be, will be the only chance La Rochelle has of scoring the points that they need to against Racing.
Yeah, but, you know, at the same time, if Astoy moves up into that 10 position, who's going to go to fullback? Because, you know, they haven't got Teddy Thomas, who can glide into that position. Dante's not going to go there. Suteni might be an option. Boulanger is just 19, hasn't got the experience. We saw that with the way that he booted the ball away, you know, without even thinking about, you know, picking it up or looking around to see if there were any other options. I wouldn't put Teddy Iribiren there, and I wouldn't put West there. The only other option.
You might put West there. You might even swap them over. You know, he's a bit
West
of a creator at the back. Yeah. That could be a possibility. You know, to keep Astoy on. I think he's pretty exhausted maybe from a couple of runs that he has. He hasn't quite got the speed. How bad is the injury that Ihia West's carrying? His leg's pretty heavily strapped, but it may certainly be an option for La Rochelle.
They do have Jules Favre on the bench, but they've got Joanny Bosmoran, who's only 18 years of age. So I think that maybe he doesn't have the experience to come on and stand up, but you never know. We've seen stranger surprises with youngsters who have just stood up and said, right, I'm going to play now, this is my game. Nolan Le Garec was one of them quite recently.
You know what, Robbie, at 24-3, you might almost say, look, what can we salvage from this game? Let's give a couple of the youngsters an opportunity here that you can't do any worse than the way things are going after that first 40.
But we do have Tuera Cabalo on the bench as well. Great player. 24-3. Let's see where this is going to go. First of all, taken cleanly out of the air. Racing. Decent take and in control just outside of the 22 with Le Garec hitting it high. Perfectly taken. That's great work, isn't it, from Tanga? Great ball carrier. And a chance, a little change of direction for Hastoy. And it runs into heavy traffic rather than the lighter traffic out wide. It's illegal. Just kept on working, going around Gogashashvili and committing the penalty. Got to release the player, haven't you? And this is a positive start for Ronan O'Gara.
Just without that extra man, one fewer option for the attack for La Rochelle. Struggling to make any headway, as anyone probably would in the situation, but here's the man there that they could be relying on, particularly off this line out if they get it clean, hit Dante, get over the advantage line, get the forward surging into that 22.
Lavo, clean take. Now here they're going. They've got to keep moving in the right direction. Pierre Bougarit at the back. This is better. Oh, it's a great run off the back by Tanga. Former Racing man at 5 meters. Iribiren. Botia will always get going. That's a great rip that is from Gael Fickou, but it just no one there to pick it up. They got the advantage, a little bit of offside. Pierre Bougarit. And the advantage not exploited.
Well, that's unfortunate for Gael Fickou. It was a great effort to rip that ball, as you say. He's been adjudged to have had enough control over the ball to have knocked that on, especially against a player like Botia. Well, they did surge in, like I suggested, without the use of Dante. Did pretty well there, La Rochelle. Be very, very encouraging, these early exchanges in the second half.
It looked like Bougarit got hit in the head there as he went through. Seems to be okay, but a little bit of traffic, a little bit of a stampede the moment that he hit the deck from his own troops. Needs to step it up, I think, Jonathan Dante. Has such a big player character. Units for the French team, of course, but since he came back from Rugby World Cup duty, hasn't really did what he was doing when he was playing.
Well, it's difficult for a 12 as well. You can show as much enthusiasm as you can, as you want to get the ball. But if the moves aren't called to give you those opportunities, and often a player like Dante, he's such a danger that you want to use him almost as a decoy, or not almost, but as a decoy to try and attract 2 or 3 defenders, bunch them up, and use options around him. So it can fall into a bit of a dynamic where a player like that doesn't touch the ball as much as you'd like to see, but gee, off the line out or coming flat off a scrum like this in the first phase, just to really put the acid on the Racing defence would be interesting.
Look where they're going. Tanga, well, it's just popped up, so they'll get the put in once again. So Dante just drifting to the right there. You thought maybe Joseph was going to pick it up, use his 9 and then get the ball out to Dante, something like that. But it's also a question of Dante actually getting involved in the breakdown, the jackling. He is just impossible to budge. You will not stop that man if he gets over and he gets the duck legs out, because he's just going to go and dig.
Thomas showered up already.
Flexion. Lié.
Good scrum that is from La Rochelle. They get the penalty. Always been Wenceslas Lalaurie just getting his hands on the ball, but that's a good penalty that is for La Rochelle, in a good position. Do you reckon they're going to go again?
I don't know what they'll do. In the first half, they didn't really take as many shots as they could have. They kept going for the line. They won't go for the line here, I don't think, but they may well call another scrum, as they have, because another penalty, maybe 2, you could expect a card. maybe not on this penalty, they won't get a card awarded to Racing, but if they can go 2 more scrums where they get penalties, then the card starts coming into play.
Well, there he is, Thomas Leclerc, about to come on. And they've also got Eddie Benarous. Leclerc coming on for Gomez. 4 tries, top scorer for Racing.
Not bad timing to bring on some reinforcements in the scrum either, because it might make the referee a little less likely to dish out a card. If he knows he's got new players on and there's a bit of time for them to get into the swing of the game, particularly in the scrum, you know, he's going to be a little bit loath to suddenly throw out a yellow card at a player who's just come on the field and hasn't been part of those previous penalties.
Sen Collinger replacing Gogashashvili.
Flexion.
Eddie Benarous will be for a bit later on.
Lié.
Teddy Riberen feeds the ball in.
Restez en haut, restez en haut.
Safely in the right position. Tanga gets it off. Oh, it's easy for him. Johan Tanga, unchallenged, and just dances over the paint. And that is a fine score indeed. First try of the season for the big number 8, the former Racing man. And they needed that try, and they've got it. It's 24-8.
Very impressive work from the La Rochelle pack. Take about. They put the heat on Racing with the scrum twice in a row, and in the end it looked pretty simple, but the size and speed of Johan Tanga as they welcome more reinforcements themselves into that scrum, which becomes even more powerful with this big French international, Uini Antonio.
Astori comfortably kicks over the extras.
Okay.
Just have a look at this again. He got shifted a little bit, but he did so well, didn't he? As soon as he picked the ball up there, Tanga, well, I think everybody had moved out wide thinking it was going to go to Dante.
Yeah, the Racing back row had been committed into the scrum, probably thinking there was going to be a much longer push from La Rochelle, so they were really engaged and didn't get off when it got messy.
And also, when you get a scrum that's wheeling like that, it blocks out certain defensive players to come forward. So it's up to the number 8 or the number 9 to read which way you're going to go, and you choose the one where there's less traffic.
Yeah, Lugarek had gone off quickly, and the other back rows, it was just got messy enough for it not to be a normal exit from the scrum, which helped, but maybe it was an intelligent decision too. He's a big man, hard to stop that close to the line, Johan Tanga.
Definitely.
C'est un blanc qui l'arrache. Couloir, descendez.
But messy, this next attempt from La Rochelle to maul the ball upfield.
The line out for Pierre Bougaret, ripped out by a Racing man. Oh, nice work in the line out. Racing win the line out, and picked up by Joseph. More spillage. It's been picked up now, an opportunity. That's outside of the 22, of course. He took it back, it doesn't matter anyway, Rocky. Well, he's still going. Finally brought down by the Irishman. Delaying, there's Gael Fickou. Got to be so careful. That's really good work, isn't it? Look at that, that's Dante, and his defensive game finally produces the fruit.
You called it before, Dante. If he gets over the ball, he's a hard man to shift, and he was very careful there not to go onto all fours and put any weight on his hands. It was obvious that his hands were on the ball. He was going for the ball solely, and that was what influenced, I'm sure, the referee's decision, because he had a good period of time where he had his hands on the ball, looking to make a positive play and steal it. Well done. Watch here, he's targeted straight away. There was a gap as Fickou hit the ground, and Dante's hands were straight on that ball. It's the steal from Voki as well off the La Rochelle throw.
He's been great in the air, isn't he? Imhoff. Osmaran replaces Boulanger. There he Here's Dante in possession. Iriburen, Pierre Bougarit, West. Little cheeky kick through. I just thought maybe Tango would kick that and just like, you know, run onto it, but he was in two minds, wasn't he, as Le Garrec came across.
There's a good shot there. Who was that made that tackle on Dante? Boris Palu. Dante went one way then the other. Really probably had the effect of nullifying both his movements laterally and ended up going straight into the tackle and got stopped pretty solidly.
Terry, unchallenged, Waki off the top. Gibert. The West kick. Now they've got a Arundel, well, he's not getting it his own way this time. That's great work from Botia. And the Fijian hits the English fullback and makes him realise that he can't have everything his own way and go hot stepping around every defender on the pitch. We haven't seen him pick up the ball, Naituvi, for a while. That's great work from Francis Saley. Botia unable to get his hands on that. Colisi, great tackle from Cancorier. And a lovely chip into the hands of that man, Imhoff. Oh, Polignati couldn't pick that up. And you can't touch that, that's illegal. He's just, it's Boris Palu, in fact, and unable to pick that up. They've taken it quickly. Hastoy waits for support, doesn't have support. Does well to stick the ball back as far as possible. Antonio West, it's an opportunity here. Botia's not going to kick it. He's not going to produce a 50-22 from there. Great tackle there coming from Jordan Joseph. And another infringement. Lavo.
Garde la marque, hein. Il a le droit.
We're going to go back to the penalty now. That's a succession of infringements going against Racing. Mitz, what do you reckon? Last warning.
Well, I'm watching those hands of Monsieur Descott. As soon as they start fiddling around with the pockets, you get nervous, don't you? It's a warning. There we go. Next time. Not even any secrecy around it. It was a bit of a gift for La Rochelle there. That was a great kick out to Imhoff for Racing, and he made a good decision to throw that into Palu. Instead of Imhoff running it up, getting stopped and looking for a slower support player, the forwards who are arriving, get it into them early, and then Imhoff would have been there in support to hit with acceleration and probably make the most of it and more likely score. Unfortunately, the pass just not being caught cleanly, and it gave La Rochelle a little bit of a get out of jail.
Max Spring warming up.
9 et 11. 8, 9 et 11.
And lots of changes with Joseph Le Garrec. And Imhoff, I think, is going off. There's the bench. The players that are injured: Rule, Dylan Lades, Leiva, Will Skelton, Pontin Lespiok. I think Maxime Baudon is going to come on. He's...
Il a contrôlé, c'est un fait de jeu. Il l'a contrôlé aux images.
Imhoff goes off. Max Spring will come on for Imhoff.
C'est bon, Martin, les changements?
There he is, scoring that wonderful try. He is such a speedster, isn't he?
He offers so much as well. Got the speed, of course, thumping big boot, good in the air, and gets off his wing, goes looking for work, goes looking to help create.
Remy Piquet's coming on to replace Lavo for a moment.
He toyed with that corner flag, Ihio West, didn't he, as the ball swung in. Must have just got inside and... I don't know, they've judged that it went out 7 or 8 metres out from the line. From our angle, it definitely looked like it was going to go close. It wasn't. La Rochelle, great attacking opportunity. And of course, they're only 2 converted tries away, even down a man.
And nicely taken by Piquet. Carvalho comes on for Viren as well. Lots of opportunities here. They're going forward. Look at that. That is the perfect response. And just smashing through. Once again, he's super dangerous, Pierre Bougari, when he gets going. That's try number 3 for the La Rochelle hooker this season. Cunning, smart, very quick, and very strong as well.
Yeah, 2 in a row from La Rochelle as they come steaming into the Racing half with their tails up. Clinical execution, athletic finish from Bougari. He realised that they had the momentum up. He had to use that momentum. This was the opportunity as he goes hurdling across the line. Ooh, question over whether he had control there.
Appel vidéo, Samy.
We're going straight up to the TMO.
Donc on veut vérifier.
Tu veux contrôler le toucher en but, s'il te plaît, Cédric?
Oui, je veux vérifier le toucher à terre.
Well, presumably the try has been awarded, so it's got to be quite a high threshold. If they don't get a good camera angle on this loss of control, then they may not be able to overrule it. But it's certainly at that last angle looked like he's lost control. Yes, there's a gap there.
So the question is there any separation? And there's definitely separation there.
Yep.
He's got no control of that. The ball comes out of his hands. There's no downward pressure. There you go. It's spillage. And that is not going to happen now. The question is that a high tackle?
Pour moi, il y a une perte de contrôle, il y a une séparation, le ballon part devant. Pour moi, c'est un en avant.
Oui, il y a un avant, je suis d'accord.
Donc il n'y aura pas essai. Attends, on met ce dernier ralenti. Pour moi, il y a une perte de contrôle.
Oh, it's a head clash there, friendly fire between the two Racing players.
Séparation en avant du dos noir. Donc je refuse l'essai et mêlée pour les blancs à 5 mètres.
Just going for a 5-metre scrum for Racing, in fact.
Well, they're so focused on the ball, of course, they're not going to look at the tackle. And you know, in that sort of situation where it all happens quickly and it's a maul that's broken up, it'd be pretty hard to come in and call a head high there.
Well, I mean, it's important to actually look at all the angles and everything. Kamikamisha coming on for Joseph. Giant Fijian, the former Breve back rower. And Tristan Tedder is on the pitch for Le Garec. Picked up by Redawati. They go again. So, purple patch this is for La Rochelle. What on earth was that? It's just Jonathan Dante frustrated with his release there. We're going to go back to the scrum, or still an advantage being played. That came off for Gail Ficou, of course.
Well, these referees said that there's been enough advantage there for La Rochelle. He's now giving the Racing team the option of whether to take this line out or the
knock-on
proceeding slash knock-on. Taking the line out.
Waki Gibert. There's Tedder.
Stop.
Pretty good kick. And looks like Colisi's going to come off, in fact. Replaced by Maxime Baudon.
Not too many chances tonight, Sir Colisi, but he's done his job. That's the important thing. He's come in with a new team. It's a big moment, and he's done well. He had one good run. He's had another couple of times where he was heavily marked by La Rochelle and had to collect the ball at the same time as 3 defenders.
Well, he was actually carrying the ball when they got the penalty try, of course, so he'll say that he's played a part in 7 points that have been scored by Racing out here today, as the ball is picked up there by Loré, held by Piquet, and Botia. You got to release the tackle player. He just held on for a little bit too long.
Well, I think that's a tough call because La Rochelle had him held up for quite a long time. He wasn't able to get his knee to ground, and it's a bit of a cop-out. You know, if you've gone in and been held up for that long, and a maul, has been created to then get your knee on the ground, and referees say he's got to be able to play it. I'm not sure we've quite got that right. Anyway, we have what we have, and now Racing are right up the La Rochelle end. There's probably a case to answer there for a bit of a car seat tackle as well.
Yeah, the knee actually touched the ground marginally, but still, I think that's the referee. Oh, has he got enough ice there? Nolan Garrick. There he is. The new boy on the block. Perfectly taken by Laurie. Comes out quickly. Oh, that's a massive hit. Dante just smashes Gibert down to the ground. Picked up by Collinger. Again, great work at the breakdown, but...
Non participant noir. No.
Dante penalised for that, just coming off the line a little bit too quickly, I think. I thought that was great work at the break. I thought that was a jackal and a steal and a La Rochelle penalty. Goes the other way.
They've been pushing that offside line right from the start of the game, La Rochelle. It was noticeable in the first 15 or 20 minutes. They were really getting up past potentially that last man's feet. But I think he was saying it was from coming inside that 10-metre line in the line out. You can't, of course, come forward on defence until the ball has moved off the line of the touch or been driven off it. Well, same thing. Or come off the top to the halfback. So just jumping the gun a little bit, La Rochelle.
I think it was Ujay Suteni, the Samoan, just drifting a little bit too far, because you kind of you're cutting the umbilical cord, aren't you? Just coming up and preventing that pass from coming out wide.
It's a great opportunity when you've got 20 metres between the back lines at a line out. It feels like you're giving up so much opportunity to eat up that ground for the attack to get over the advantage line. So the defence equally wants to get up as quick as they can.
27-10, and another change, as you can see, with Boris Palu coming off and Vikozo Poloniati coming on. Penalty for Racing. Slavi's come on, the Argentinian loose head prop.
Who was that who chased that from the La Rochelle kickoff? That was a great effort. They went desperately close to getting their own penalty there. That was a tremendous contest off the kickoff. Great hang time on the ball. Clean contest in the air. And as I say, La Rochelle really close to getting a penalty their way on that occasion. There it is there.
That's
He's trying not to touch the ball then, Bottier, because he knew he'd lost his feet. Not deliberate either.
Eddie Benarous, there you go. Has to play as a hooker. He's getting quite a lot of game time in the front row, not in his preferred position. The big man Poloniati, giant Tongan. Big high kick over the top. Just on the edge of the 22, perfectly taken there by Hastoy, but straight into the grasp of Francis Saley. Carballo. Going a little bit deep this time, this is better. Charge coming through by Bottia. Slavi. Bit of support from Bulgaric. West, Carballo and Suteni having the ball drops there, and it's Racing who will get a scrum. These are the kind of moments where you just think they'll be in a much better position if they didn't drop the ball and they just go through the phases and play the territory game, because they're passing the ball around quite nicely, but that's a good flanking hit there from Saley, though.
Maybe just not looking like he was going to give that ball as a pass to Oteni. It was fairly obvious, I think, from quite early on that he was tucking it, going for a run, and that enabled the Racing defence to group on him, to target him, which ultimately led to the little mistake. There was a little bit of space out there. You know, you can't throw it there all the time straight away, but I think when you're running with the ball, you certainly want to look as if passing is an option for you, because it always leaves the opposition defenders in that slight bit of doubt.
He might get the chance to come back on. He's just keeping warm on the Watts bike on the side of the pitch.
The level of intensity he's been through in the last couple of months is quite incredible. They must feel like this is almost a bit of a walk at times.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but gee, it was an incredible World Cup.
Jouez.
Off the back, good charge. Poloniati. Gibert. Tedder can't find his way through. It's been picked up, nicely done by Max Spring. And Sclavi unable to get his hands on that. There's the cross kick, dangerous as it is. It's nicely picked up by Arundel, but he's not going anywhere. He's chucked it back into the hands of Spring. Good hit from Bottia.
Some great skill out there by Arundel. Firstly, to keep the ball in, and then flick it back around over his shoulder to a support player. It's a great tackle there from Bottia as well. That looked pretty dangerous off the base of the Racing scrum. Lots of space. As it wheeled a little bit to the blind side, it looked like they were going to go and attack there, but Polignati coming off to his right, and Bottia around the boot bases.
Well, what a mistake that was from Tedder. He kicked it directly behind the corner flag, so we'll go up for a scrum on the 22. Palu back on for Woki.
Yeah, again, I know this is not a platform for us to air our grievances about the rules, but this is one of those situations where, you know, players coming off and then coming back on again, a bit more fresh. Fatigue's part of the game, and we see points because of fatigue when there's not as much cover defence, covering from the inside, particularly with the forwards, and so I'm not sure this is necessarily great for the game to have that kind of interchange situation. Teams can exploit it pretty easily these days.
Restez en haut. Pareil, ça remonte de suite. Les deux vont remonter de suite. C'est plus une mêlée.
I think Preston, they were cracking jokes in the front row there, Tonio and Collingar and co. In any case, popped up both sides, reset, scrum.
They'll be simple ones, I reckon, Robbie. Probably knock-knocks.
Si vous partez en haut tous les deux, je ne recommencerai pas.
They've got too many calls they've got to worry about. That's what I'm saying. They've got line-out calls with lifting. They've got scrum calls. They've got the team structures. There's a lot that they have to absorb, the front row. And memorising jokes probably not a high priority for them.
Flexion! Lié!
Thinking about snacks is probably more important, isn't it? Here we go, Caballo, and it's the scrum. There's collapsed. Oh, it's the yellow card for Racing. And, well, this is a big blow, isn't it, for Thomas Leclerc. Stuart Lancaster's Racing men, because this is an opportunity now for Ronan O'Gara's La Rochelle. But they've got to get it right. They've got to play an intelligent game now, because that'll, for 10 minutes, they've got an extra player on the pitch.
Well, they definitely don't want to slow it down, because when Racing gets back to 15 men, there will only be 6 minutes to go. So they don't want to give the ball away to Racing. They don't want to let Racing dictate the tempo or the timing now and chew up time with reset scrums or kicking to line-outs, holding onto the ball through multiple phases. They don't want to rush it too much, of course, La Rochelle, but they do have to make the most of it.
Now, if they get a scrum, Sadate Gomasa, who gave away a penalty just before he went off the pitch, will have to come back on. But they've got to get there first. You saw the penalty count. Oh, nicely won. Flicked back by Gibert. Perfectly done as well. That's great work at the breakdown. Piquet's got his hands on it. No, he hasn't. Referee says play. Tedder, nice kick. Picked up by Hastoy. Runs into a little bit of trouble. Cabotia is a beast at the breakdown. Piquet this time. Big high kick by that man West. Well, he's been knocked out of his line there, Houani Bosmoan. And that's the right call, but the referee couldn't challenge. Player obstructing his path. Not just any player either.
Yeah, good call. It's a dangerous part of the game. It can end up dangerous if you're obstructing players chasing through, because they end up not getting a good timing and a good shot at the ball in the air. They can take out players inadvertently who are in the air. So it's long overdue that we really clamp down on players changing lines and moving in unrealistic positions just to block other players out.
Pierre Bougaret, they scored from here. They want to try and score again. Picked up by Delane. The driving maul in a good position. They need to get some go-ahead. They need to get some power. Oh, it's been taken away and picked up by Bougaret. Does really well. It's gone backwards. It came off the foot. Sclavi, the Argentinian, as he grounded the ball. Held up. Frustration. Look at that. Who's underneath it?
Is that Naituvi managed to get in there? I think it is. Coming from the wing. There's a question maybe, did he get the ball down between Naituvi's legs? There it is there. It's on a leg. It's inconclusive, and they're not going to overrule the no-try call.
Pierre Bougaret, he's got a shiner, and he can't. Looks like he can hardly see out of that one eye. And that was when he. Went over, dropped the ball going over the try line.
That kick out is a great result for Racing. That it found grass, that it bounced out, soaks up some more time, puts more pressure on the La Rochelle line-out because they've pitched a few. Racing.
Not as bad as it seems, that shiner. Line-outs, there you go. La Rochelle have lost 4 of theirs. Need to get this right. Maxime Baudon was the player who came in and stole it. This time Delane does really well. West on a bit of a run, a bit of a wonder. He's going well. Off his right shoulder, he had support. And finally, he does have support coming through. It's nearly a good steal. Piquet needs the cavalry to arrive, otherwise they'll jackal, because they love to jackal. Nice play from Sclavi. They got an overlap if they go out wide. And Suteni decides to go straight. Great turnover, but got to release the tackle player. That's the call. I thought that was a brilliant bit of jackling there from Racing.
Yeah, I'm surprised if that was the eventual call that it didn't happen earlier, because if he hasn't released the player, then he hadn't released him 5 seconds earlier either. I actually don't mind the decision in that creating a ruck. I don't think referees are calling a ruck for him. But here's a great run from Ihaya West. He didn't realise he was going to get caught from behind. Was it Tedder who managed to get him? And he came out of his blind spot, which is probably most of the area behind you. And it's just a shame there that he couldn't get that pass away and had no idea. Maybe didn't get some communication, Ihaya West.
Well, a few changes here. Jules Favre is going to come on. And Pierre Bougaret replaced by Adoumi. Botia going off as well.
Classical warrior performance from Ivani Botia, wasn't it? Involved in pretty much everything.
Line out this time, it's been won. Dante comes back on for Suteni. And Courier back on. Already getting very involved. Since he come back on the pitch, Carvalho this time, Piquet. Attempt to try and steal the ball, unsuccessful from Baudon. Carvalho. Oh, that's a good little pass that is into the hands of Hastoy. Oh, he's upside down, you've got to be careful, that's super dangerous. They don't like that, but they do well. Hold him up, place him back down, steal the ball. Perfectly executed there by Racing. Hastoy just ran straight into the jaws of the Racing monster. Spring. Oh, that's, could have been nasty that, but does really well, Bosmarin. La Rochelle, 4 minutes with the same number of players on the pitch. Sclavi coming on to try and add some zip. And, well, let's see what's happening here.
Card for Racing. Yeah, they just managed to get in and ruin the cleanliness of the La Rochelle ball. La Rochelle wanting to play quickly there. Carvalho wanting to get in and clear that ball, and they just couldn't. There's enough going on there that was illegal, borderline illegal, whatever, that interrupted the La Rochelle flow.
And they go for line-outs. Look at it, this is Sclavi going through.
It came right from that play around the tackle. Not sure what the exact ruling is, but it didn't look right. I don't think you can say penalty, it just didn't look right, but...
Carvalho, this is better, West. West takes it into Dante. Dante still going.
Good run.
Down by Fickou. Fickou's going to get penalised for that. They got one extra player. Surely this is going to go through. Not on that occasion. Sclavi. Counter-rucking. There it is. Doumi picks it up.
Lâche.
Some good rumbling.
Non. Ballon dispo. Hein. Servez le pied. Hein.
Oh, it's just so frustrating to see that ball so close. And used by the foot, according to the referee.
Servez le pied. Hein.
I thought he was playing advantage to La Rochelle for 2 or 3 phases.
Non, ballon couvert.
Gilbert. Well, 8 minutes for Ronan O'Gara's men. Of course, it's not enough 2 tries, is it? But there's still an opportunity. That should have been in their possession. And Maxime, it's really good work there from Laurie, but you've really got to get in there. You've got to get stuck in. That's 5 meters out from your try line. Hidoumi with the line-outs. And again, you can see what he's doing. Baudon does really well. Fickou this time smashes it up into enemy territory. That's a great kick. It's a very good kick.
Another line-out steal for Racing, and probably from all the statistics that come out of tonight, obviously apart from the red card, is the fact that they've pinched now at least 5, possibly 6 line-outs from La Rochelle, and that's just far too much at this level to be giving away that amount of possession. And then you see the result like this, the great kick from Fickou, and there's a 60-metre gain.
C'est bon, fini, blanc derrière.
And Courier makes it safe. Carvalho.
Plaquage.
Still got an extra player on the pitch. Hastoy. That's nicely done. Now, what options has he got? That's a good pass as well, Hastoy. A bit of shirt pulling there. Not spotted by the referee. Good hands. Oh, they're in danger. Dante will square up. Good offload. Bosmarin round the outside. Nice little move that is from the substitute winger. West. It's Tango who just can't keep the ball in hand, and that's going to be a scrum for Racing. And they get an extra player back, so we're back to 14 players.
Okay.
I think La Rochelle's calling an early tackle here on Astoy. Just a little tip on from Ihaya West as they desperately tried to get the ball wide. There was a break earlier here where Astoy looming up in support on the inside. Just got maybe one of his arms got grabbed a little too early. Plenty of assistance coming for the referee from the La Rochelle players, but he ignored them.
The referee just saying that it was checked. There's the injured list of players: Tuisova, Sankoni Chuzanu, Rollins, Welshman, Narisia, Kamisha, Roma Diallo as well. Some quality players that are still missing for this Racing team. And it's scrum time with just over 5 minutes to go. Leclerc back on the pitch.
Been a busy night tonight, Francis Sailly. Maybe a few fewer opportunities in the second half, but probably more on defence in the second half. But first half, certainly some nice touches, particularly that long pass that he sent out early to Juan Imhoff for the first Racing try.
Sally's got that wonderful ability just to, whichever line he brings, he releases the ball at the perfect time. Whether it's an offload after being tackled or just making that pass as soon as he sees where a player has just shifted his weight onto one foot rather than the other, and he's committed. And that's when he knows when he can release. He's got amazing ability to read the defensive, line, because he's studied it so well. So whoever's outside of him, basically gets like sort of, a swag bag of a pass.
Yeah, because he's such a blockbusting player, players plant to prepare themselves for the tackle as Racing get the penalty from the scrum. But he can see that, he can identify that movement. As soon as they've squared up to him, readying themselves for the tackle, he'll release it. So the players outside him have always got to be ready that he can give it to them at the exact right moment.
And I think that's what you want with a back, with a quality back, is a player who not only knows when to take the ball himself, but also knows when to make that pass, because that's it's two traits that will most definitely spook any defender, because you've got to be so vigilant.
And that's the evolution, the progression for a guy like Dante as well, because he is fantastic at hitting the line and just carrying that ball direct. Adding that to his game through experience, through maturity, is going to be a big plus for him.
Big time. There's Baudon off the back, wonderful player. Here's Saley this time. Straight through the middle. Yeah, it's a rip ball, look at that. Dante picks the ball up, an opportunity. Is an opportunity here for that man, Can Courier. And the former Clermontois. And they get something from this. Baudon, big, burly back rower. West, Antonio, everybody fell for that dummy. West just chips over the top, nicely done. Oh, good skills there from Astoy. Depending on where it goes. Spring picks it up, and there's the kick. Kick over the top. Dangerous one as well. He's still going. Oh, he's picked it up. Beautifully done. Can he get the pass out? Well, he gets it to Gibert. Arundel in the corner. Sensational attacking Racing play. With just over 2 minutes to go, and Arundel, the Englishman, scoring his fourth try this season after a hat-trick against Toulon on the road.
No way. Where did that try come from Racing? Certainly wasn't even a twinkle in Max Spring's eye at the start, although he saw space, he put the kick in, followed it through well, showed tenacity to get the ball back, and then even more tenacity to keep on his feet, to keep going forward, look for his support. Here's where it broke down a little bit for La Rochelle. Here's a little kick off the outside of his boot as well. The chase, fighting to regain that possession and then keep his feet long enough for his support. Gibert came across, and then the dive from Arundel in the corner. We've seen that before. Lethal.
And a celebration from Sia Kolisi. But what a score that was. Triggered by Spring covering at the back. And a chance for Tedder to add the extras. It's just gone a bit wide. 32 points to 10, just over a minute to go. And a bonus point in the bag because of that try. And the 5 points that they win today, if they can hold on to the bonus offensive point, will take them above Po as they head towards the 9th round of Top 14 before the European rugby break. Harlequins here at the Paris La Défense Arena, and then Ulster on the road for Stuart Lancaster and his men.
Fighting hard now, Racing, to keep La Rochelle out, keep them from scoring their second try, which will burst their bubble a little bit. As you say, the 5 points takes them away from the peloton, who are all on 23 at the moment. And go a point above Po at the top. Flexion! It's the great thing about that 3-try difference rule as well, that it keeps teams playing for much longer, I think, than the straight 4-try bonus point system.
Well, they're just going to kick this out, of course, and Tedder finishes and completes the deal. Sia Kolisi, in his first match playing for Racing, experiences success at the Paris La Défense Arena, beating Stade Rochelet, Ronan O'Gara's men, hampered by a red card in the first half as Teddy Thomas was sent off for a challenge when he brought down Nolan Le Garec. Full-time score here, Racing 92-32, La Rochelle 10. Well, there are a couple of openings tonight for La Rochelle to do something, despite the fact that they were one player down at Mertz, and they just couldn't finally get themselves those 7 points when they were 5 meters out.
Yes, there's no shame in that game, particularly down a red-carded player, you know, but they'll take a lot of confidence out of some of the build-up play. You know, they weren't quite clinical when they got a chance to score. They were all but scoring that other try to Bulgari, a loss of control over the line. So plenty of heart they can take from this game, but at the end, a loss is a loss, and they go home to sort of regroup and look to, as you say, play that one more top 14 game before hitting the European competition. For this man tonight, Sia Kolisi, got in, did his job. He's coming to a new team, far from wanting to be the centre of attention, but he got through his work tonight. Good for the other players around him. Racing players would have definitely wanted to welcome him with a victory, with a good performance. It wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. They can still build from here, but I'm sure he's happy to get that out of the way with a W.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is a nice moment, isn't it? We're following Sia Kolisi because he knows everybody, doesn't he? This is the crazy thing, you know. It's like hugs for mates, and even if he's just meeting them tonight, they're all good friends because that's how he is. And he's such a beautiful human being, isn't he? And you know, this is just rugby, but on the bigger picture, I think we understand that, you know, he's got some fine character skills, isn't he?
Yes, he's got a lot of charisma, a lot of gravitas in a team. Pretty obvious there, and you know, he'll be showing how happy he is for his teammates, for their victory. It's not about himself.
He's hugging absolutely anybody who comes his way, and they can't blame him because, you know, it's a new experience. He wants to feel good in his environment. His family needs to feel good in the environment. Maxime Baudon, the youngster who's obviously, you know, picking up a few skills of what the master is doing, and he wants to feel, you know, happy and happy in his entourage. These are all the traits of someone who wants to be, you know, do some good where he is.
You know, he'll continue to inspire players around him, and it's a new group now getting to experience that, to really focus on excellence, you know, whether it's their preparation during the week or obviously in the game as well. And, you know, we saw tonight the big boys really stood up for him in the line-out particularly. We saw Cameron Woki just behind Sia Kolisi, shaking hands with the La Rochelle players. He was instrumental in that tonight. The possession that they won against the throw in the line-out turned out to be pretty critical.
Yeah, we saw him with Guthrie Steenkamp, of course, who was part of the front row when South Africa managed to win in 2007 at the Rugby World Cup. Ronan O'Gara and
exactement, Juan, ça ressemble, le point de bonus offensif. C'était par moment la soirée parfaite, il y a eu du rugby, il y a eu du jeu. Qu'est-ce que vous retenez, vous, de ce match?
C'est la soirée parfaite. Quand tu vas le champion européen, c'est toujours très beau. On a fait beaucoup d'efforts. Eux aussi, franchement, respect à 14 presque tous les matchs. Franchement, beaucoup de respect pour ce qu'ils ont fait. Mais félicitations au Racing pour le travail encaissé dans la semaine, le caractère et la sérénité dont a abordé ce match-là.
Vous avez marqué votre combien de essai en top 14?
C'est un peu la honte, je voulais dire, mais bon, on me l'a dit la semaine dernière. C'est en top 14, je crois, 78. Et mon 111e essai avec le Racing.
Bon, ben,
merci beaucoup, c'est
gentil. C'est rien, c'est anecdotique.
C'est bravo pour la bonne réponse. Et pour les essais.
Merci, bravo à toi qui l'as montré la semaine dernière.
Juste un mot sur Sia Kolisi, on l'a vu hyper bien intégré. Comment s'est passé avec vous cette semaine? On sent qu'il est déjà pleinement dans l'équipe.
C'est un leader et c'est quelqu'un qui a un aura très spécial. Tout le monde l'aime bien. Et il a une bonne gueule en plus, donc c'est quelqu'un de très joyeux. Il a apporté ça à l'équipe, c'est très bien. Après, deux joueurs, il ne faut pas parler, vous le connaissez très bien, c'est un très gros joueur. Je pense qu'il nous amène beaucoup au Racing, donc on est tous très contents de l'avoir.
Merci, on vous laisse aller célébrer. Et on ne va pas pouvoir enchaîner Astrid parce que les Rochelais sont encore en cercle. Donc...
Well, there's the La Rochelle team just gathering together, of course. What can they take from that? Is there anything they can take from that, Mitz, the La Rochelle team?
Well, they had some good moments. You know, they want to forget that result as quickly as possible, but they want to look at, you know, take out of the game what they did do well. They did put Racing under pressure. At times, they showed good character to stay in the fight. You know, if they hadn't dropped that ball over the line, they were at 24-17. That's within striking distance of Racing, and they're down a man. So, you know, not to make excuses, but I think O'Gara will be focusing pretty heavily on the fact that they showed a lot of pride, a lot of courage, down a man. And they still fired some shots. You know, it wasn't anywhere near good enough tonight, but up against a top team like Racing, it's hard to do that at 14 men. So, you know, I think they just move on pretty quickly. Like I say, there was some good play, there was some good attack. They'll look at where they went wrong on defence to allow Racing maybe a couple of soft tries in the first half. But I think, you know, they'll take a lot of heart from the spirit they showed, I think, on attack.
Je raconte une anecdote pour le faire sourire, mais ça, on imagine que ce soir vous n'avez pas le sourire, il y a beaucoup de frustration qui prédomine après ce match où ça a mal démarré. Racontez-nous un petit peu vos impressions.
Il y a beaucoup de regrets et de frustration. Pas contre l'arbitrage, parce que nous avions râlé contre l'arbitrage, mais juste contre nous, parce qu'on s'était promis de commencer le match avec beaucoup d'engagement, beaucoup d'agressivité. Et les 20 premières minutes, on passe un peu à côté là-dedans. On subit les collisions, on les laisse jouer après contact. Ils gagnent à chaque fois des mètres, donc à partir du moment où une équipe avance, ils recule. Et après, on réagit bien après la 20e, mais voilà, le score il est large. C'est compliqué de revenir d'aussi loin.
Comment vous jugez ce début de saison? Vous êtes arrivé vous depuis quelques semaines. Comment tu juges ce début de saison? On sent qu'il y a par moment, on retrouve le Stade Rochelais de la saison dernière. Par moment, vous sortez un petit peu des rencontres. Ton sentiment?
Ouais, on retrouve un peu cette inconstance, surtout à l'extérieur. C'est vrai qu'on sort de 2 matchs à domicile où on gagne au forceps quand même.
Sometime, you know, and then we managed to squeak through a couple of wins.
Mais voilà, il faut qu'on lève la tête. On est grand garçon, la saison, le temps qu'elle est longue, mais bon, à force, les journées, elles passent. Et on reste en bas de ce classement. Donc, il faut que ça nous révolte un petit peu, qu'on s'en serve pour continuer à vouloir progresser, à s'améliorer.
Il y avait Cameron et Gaël, ça vous a fait plaisir quand même de les voir furtivement.
C'est toujours un plaisir de revoir les copains de l'équipe de France sur le terrain. Après, voilà, c'est le match, c'est le match. Après le match, voilà, ça reste une grande famille du rugby, on est toujours content de les revoir.
And at the end of the game, we're always happy to see each other, regardless of the win or the lose. Well, it was a lose today for La Rochelle. Big loss as well, if you actually look at it. They were in striking range, but they didn't manage to get themselves those points at key moments. And the end result looks pretty hard, but the Racing are obviously very happy because they moved straight to the top of the table with that winning bonus point. 32 points to 10. Imhoff with his 111th try for Racing, which is fantastic. Gilbert Arundel gets his 4th as well, and a penalty try with Tanga just going over in the 46th minutes. But a couple of regrets there. Bugaret going over but dropping the ball, and then going 5 meters towards the trailer and then giving the ball to the Racing men.
Yes, their line out, I think they'll look at definitely La Rochelle for sure as